Here.
Here. I'd like to ask Councilmember Mendoza to lead us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Do we have any changes to the agenda?
We have no changes to the agenda.
Thank you so very much. Tonight, we do not have any special presentations, and so we will move directly into our general public comment portion of the meeting. During the general public comment portion of this meeting, the public may express their concerns not pertaining to any item on the agenda tonight. Please note that according to state law, the city council is not permitted to respond to any comments expressed by the public. But if appropriate, staff will be directed to follow up with the speaker or the topic may be brought to the city council for consideration at a future date. Per the Monroe Municipal Code, Chapter 2.14.150, all remarks must be addressed to the city council as a body and not any individual council member. Each speaker will have a maximum of 3 minutes. When speaking, please observe the green, yellow, and red light timer at the podium. The red light indicates that it is time for the next speaker to approach the podium to begin speaking. City Clerk, do we have any speaker slips? Thank you. First, I'll call on General Wood, followed by Clovis Honore.
General Wood. Cars and bicycles on the streets, pedestrians on sidewalks. No bicycles on sidewalks. I would like for you to have SDG&E remove the transmission line pole stumps from the sidewalks on Federal. Remove the asphalt around them and put concrete in there instead of asphalt. On May 4th, 305 from east to west at approximately 3 p.m., a branch fell from the eucalyptus tree on Miller's property that's adjacent to my property. The branch was 20 to 25 feet in length, 25 inches in circumference. It almost hit one of my cars back there. That's a good thing it didn't. That's all I have for right now. But there's other things that need to be done in the city. Oh, by the way, 4 to 5 employees have left the city in the past 2 months. So that's something for the city. That's the original anyway.
Thank you so very much. Next we have Clovis Honore, followed by Corey C.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, illustrious city council members. My name is Clovis Honore. I'm representing Grid Alternatives, and I'm here to tell you about our Energy for All program. I have a wonderful PowerPoint that you can't see, but I can barely see it on my phone. Grid Alternatives model is people, personas, which are income qualified homeowners, Planeta, which is Grid Alternatives electric systems, employment, and VEOS, which is hands-on training opportunities. We are a nonprofit based out of Oakland, California. We install nodes, low-cost solar. We do workforce development, and we do also clean mobility, storage, and other projects based on need and funding, as well as policy and advocacy work. Our vision is a successful transition to clean, renewable energy that includes everyone. Our mission is to make renewable energy technology and job training accessible to communities of concern. In the San Diego County area, the San Diego branch of the Grid Alternative has served more than 15,000 households, 1,500 households, I'm sorry, and trained more than 2,300 people. The Lemon Grove Climate Action Plan says that the city will encourage the development of solar-based or other renewable energy resources within the city and the larger region. The DACSAT program that Grid administers is one such program that can be of assistance to you. DACSAT stands for Disadvantaged Communities, Single-Family Solar Homes. It provides no-cost solar systems to homeowners that qualify as low income. Okay, see what happens with technology? There you go. To qualify as a DACSAT homeowner, you must own the home, live in the home, be underserved with income limits. In this case, we are down to SCG's care and FARA limits, which as you probably know is fairly low. And you have to live in the red zone. The red zone is on the map that has been handed out to you. And it helps if the home's roof, electrical panel, and shading are quote-unquote solar ready. So tell your friends and families about the Energy for All program and earn a $200 reward for every person you refer who goes solar with Grid. You can be found at gridalternatives.org, and all our information is on the flyer that I present. Thank you for your time, and hopefully next time I see you, I'll actually be on your agenda. We're moving to that, and if you all are able to help me with that, that would be great. And then the 15-minute presentation to give a lot more information about all of them. We have a link we call Clean Cars for All, which will start in June. And so we'll come back to you after the start of June to all the details of that program. Kind of like the gas for one fiscal home where Barack Obama was giving people gas for their old cars, so we can new cars for reduced reduction. We're gonna be doing something like that, but they will be EV cars. That's what we do. Thank you very much for your time. Look forward to seeing you again soon.
Thank you so very much. Next, we have Corey C., followed by Barbara Carpenter.
Please forgive me if I'm a little nervous. It's the first time I've actually stepped up to this podium.
If you could speak directly into the mic, we can hear you better.
Okay, that better. I wanted to talk about street repair, specifically Mount Vernon between 69th and Massachusetts in both the east and westbound lanes. Those potholes can be repaired or the street can be repaved. That would be awesome. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. Next, we have Barbara Carpenter, followed by Teresa Burliak Crocker.
My main concern right now is parking. Why?
If you could speak closer to the mic so that we can capture what you're saying. Thank you so very much.
Regarding parking and the homeless, but parking, why do businesses open here in Lemon Grove and then park in the residential areas? Aren't they supposed to have ample place for their business or whatever they, why are they parking residential? I just had a conversation, not a very nice one, with a gentleman who owns Rowan Motors. And anyway, it came to, he said, come over to my shop and I said, okay, that's what you do to your women. But anyway, why should we have to fight for parking? We own our homes, there's a parking complex, Citron, across from us. They have parking underneath, but the homeless live there. And drug activity, a lot of drug activity there. Can't even let the children go on anymore. Nothing. So what is the problem with the parking? Do you not check with your business owners to see where they're parking? Or why? I've already made phone calls here. And I talked to code enforcement. And, well, it's a public street. That's fine and dandy. But if I went to your home and parked in your driveway, what would you do? Or parked in your residential area? Or went to their business and parked there all day? Do you have an answer? Have you looked into it? Has anybody else complained? I'm sure they have, I'm not the only one. I have neighbors that have complained. And And the second is homeless. We do have a problem with homeless, and I wish, some of you would have attended a meeting last night. Several business owners were there, and they told us how they felt and what was going on. And I think that's something that all of you on the council, you support Lemon Grove, you're supposed to be there for us. Why don't you take a walk around Lemon Grove? I don't mean drive, I mean walk. Walk and look at these people and talk to them. Some of them aren't even half as bad as you think they are. But I've never seen any of the council members, maybe Jennifer. But this is ridiculous. I've lived here in Lemon Grove since the early 70s, and it's a mess. I don't like to tell people that I live in Lemon Grove, because you know what they say? Oh, that's, you know what, I'm in Lemon Grove. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. Finally, we have Teresa Rosiak Prophet, and this will complete our public comment portion of the meeting.
Good evening, Madam Mayor and City Council officials. I would like to talk to you about the homeless in Lemon Grove, as this matter is of great concern to myself and to the residents of Lemon Grove. After one of the last city council meetings, I drove around the city to see how many homeless I could locate, and I gave myself a time limit of 1.5 hours. During my drive, I counted 112 homeless individuals within our city limits. Several homeless individuals were in groups as they find safety in numbers, so when you see a tarp or a cardboard lean-to, you might think it is one person, and it may be multiple individuals. I spoke with them briefly and asked them what they needed, and I provided all of them with a snack and water for the night. These individuals need help and compassion, and they need a hand up more than a hand out. I wish you were all truly listening to me right now. What are you doing to help these individuals? And how are you under the impression that we only have a few homeless in Lemon Grove? I urge you to do something now and take action. And please reopen the promenade bathrooms for a limited hours so that the homeless can have dignity and use the restrooms. Also, I'd like to congratulate one of you on your throwing your hat in the ring for the 78th Assembly District. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. For clarification here for those who are new, according to state law, the city council is not permitted to respond to any comments expressed by the public. So I just wanted to make sure that you understand that. But what I will do is I will allow the city manager to share some information with you. She'll give you a brief update.
So regarding the CIP and the streets, we are going to be having we finally just said it, our capital improvement program workshop, which will be next Tuesday, the 23rd, and we're going to be talking which streets are on the list. So I just swallowed a bug, that's okay. Got protein for today. We'll be talking about streets that we're gonna be looking on in the next 2 years for our street repaving, as well as discussing the streets under the 25 PCI, which is some of the more, streets that, need repair. Regarding the homeless issue, last week, Thursday of last week, the city council held their goal setting session. And one of the goals is to look at our homeless programs and make sure that we are doing the best we can. So that is gonna come back, to city council so we can start moving forward, with our homeless programs and allocate revenue funds and hopefully maybe from the CARES Act or the ARPA funds that we received. So we're still actively working on that. I do know that we do have Home Start that works with us, as well as PATH and some other groups that are working in Lemon Grove under a county contract to do some outreach with our homeless. So that they are working on our behalf in the East County region.
Thank you for providing that update. I will now move to the consent calendar. Do we have a motion to approve the consent calendar?
So moved.
And a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. I will ask our city clerk to call the roll.
Councilmember Mendoza,
Aye.
Councilmember Snow,
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Castillo,
Aye.
Mayor Vasquez.
Aye.
That motion carries 4-0 with 1 absent.
Thank you. Item number 2 is a resolution affirming limitations to the 2-year EDCO corporation rate schedule. This item was continued from the May 2nd meeting. I'll turn this over to Lydia Romero, the city manager, to present the staff report.
Thank you, Madam Mayor and City Council members. I will make this brief as possible. We're here tonight to discuss the 2-year rate increase for EDCO Refuse Service. The City Council affirms the rates that EDCO wants to charge. Its resident, we don't set the rates, we affirm the rates. As you know, EDCO is located as one of its main warehouses or yards in Lemon Grove, and it's one of the largest employers in Lemon Grove. They have been providing solid waste services to the city of Lemon Grove and its residents and businesses since 1978, and I'm sure that predates that, the 1978 incorporation of the city. EDCO utilizes a 2-year rate structure that helps smooth out any ebbs and flows of the rate increase. And the current rate that everybody is paying today is only affirmed through June 30th of 2023. So we are looking at affirming those rates for the next 2 years that will take effect July 1 of 2023. So city staff met with EDCO staff to talk about their rate increases for fiscal year 22-23 and 24-25. Just to jump to the punch, it looks like the basic residential service rate will increase by $2.23 a month, going from $27 to $29. Commercial rates will increase by $8.72 monthly, and that is really your sort of the basic 3-yard bin that most companies do have, going from $122.57 to $131.29. There is another added charge to our bills for EDCO, especially for the commercial customers, and that's the commercial recycling. That is a state mandated program that every commercial business, unless they get a waiver, and city staff is in charge of the waiver, to participate in organics recycling. And that cost is at $92.59 a month. So in this next slide, this is what the new rate structure would look like. This new rate structure, again, shows the proposed increase. The proposed increases for the basic services. I want to point out one item or 2 items for the city council, since they don't always see this big rate structure every 2 years. We have actually separate rates for seniors. There's a senior residential rate, and then there's a senior silver bag rate. And those, one is income restricted, and one is for seniors 62 years or older. And those are for commercial, residential recycling rates. So EDCO has what we call an exclusive franchise agreement in which they are our service provider in town. And these rates, and I'm gonna, in a future slide, I'll talk about what makes up the cost increase for those rates. One is based on the consumer price index and the tipping fees. And the tipping fees are the fees that when a waste hauler goes to the dump, and dumps the rubbish off at the yard, or the landfill, that's the rate that is charged to the company to drop off at so some of the factors that are going towards the increase is, like I mentioned previously, is an increase in landfill tipping fees, the cost of fuel and the cost of labor. I think most of you know that the cost of fuel has gone up. It is very costly to comply with state regulations, and the waste industry, the waste and recycling industry has a lot more state regulations than most industries out there. And lastly is the offsetting of our recycled materials revenue. So in previous years, when the recycling market was really hot, the recycling of cardboard, plastic, and glass would be sold. That commodity item would then go back and help offset the cost of the rates. Because the market is so volatile in that particular commodity, the product prices come down, so really it is not the money maker that it used to be in years past. I follow the commodity market for recycling, and it's really on the downswing at this point in time. So the end result of all of this, again, is an increase of this, the projected CPI is higher than we've seen in normal years, so the increase is a lot higher. And EDCO is requesting that the rates be set at the maximum level so they can have a cost neutral business. These rates will not have any impact on the city budget's bottom line at all. And with that, I recommend that the City Council adopt the resolution affirming the 2-year EDCO rate limitations for fiscal year 2023 and 24 and 24-25. And tonight, if I did not cover something very specific or technical, we have CEO and President of EDCO, Steve South, in the room, and he can certainly answer questions that I can't on the operations.
Thank you so much for the report. Before we get to our questions, I'll check with our city clerk to see if we have any speaker slips on this agenda item. As we do not have any speaker slips for this item, I will begin with Councilmember Mendoza.
I don't have any questions, but I just know that I've talked with EDCO representatives, and the state mandated organics recycling. I think it's a wonderful thing, but it definitely was a cost increase. There was a lot of cost to EDCO to put this in place, and I think these rates are reasonable considering what they've had to invest recently in the organics recycling.
Thank you. I will now go to Councilmember Snow.
Thank you. One of the things I want to do is particularly thank EDCO and being a good community partner. If you've been to any of our festivals, you'll know that EDCO does quite a bit to support us, providing free trash services. They also provide free dumps and free hazardous waste removal. And so I know that the community is very grateful for that. And it helps keep our community clean because people who are desperate to dump and don't have the dump fees are able to hold on to their stuff until that event and bring it there. So that's a real great community partner to have. We really do appreciate that. a couple of comments, I know I've heard, people talk about this in the community, but the trucks are very heavy and we have a significant problem with our roads. There's a lot of wear and tear on those roads and they're very heavy vehicles. And to the extent that there is any way to, move to vehicles that are less heavy, or different ways to allocate burden on the impact of those on the roads would be great. And then also encourage to moving to fuel efficient, sustainable, energy efficient use of vehicles. But thank you so much as a community partner.
Mr. South, I hate to put you on the spot, but do you want to talk a little bit about the trucks and the CNG, natural gas and some of the organics recycling, and you hope to recycle that into some of the CNG gas for your trucks?
John, how do I get this back on?
It's actually easier.
Madam Mayor,
It was
it was on. So it broke it. Thanks, John.
speaking to
Is that better? Is that better?
Yes.
Madam Mayor, members of council, Steve South, President and CEO of Family Owned and Operated Echo. Honored to serve the city of Lemongrove and as a member of the
here.
If you could speak directly into the mic, so we can capture your voice.
I
Thank you.
think as it relates to renewable fuels, our fleet serving the city of Lemon Grove is powered by renewable natural gas, RNG, that we actually are making from the organics, a portion of which we make from the organics at our anaerobic digestion facility in Escondido. The balance we purchase. So rather than using extracted natural gas, we use renewable either through purchasing or what we make. And then combined with the new vehicles that we invest in, near zeros are actually carbon neutral. One of the challenges facing us as an industry, certainly us as a company, as it relates to weight, is that as we move toward zero emissions and electrify, those vehicles are actually heavier. So, there's competing elements that will be at play that are gonna have to be sorted out. State mandate to move towards zero emissions, whether that's hydrogen, or whether that's hydrogen fuel cell or zero emissions. But typically, those are heavier vehicles, and you've seen that in pickup trucks, you've seen that in cars. Right now, those add about 3,000 to 4,000 pounds of additional payload. And for trucks, that's as much as 6,000 pounds. And so, that would be actually reduce the legal payload, and we would have to have more trucks. So that somewhat seems at odds, and I think that the state will probably be working towards addressing some of those things, because that where that delta is on zero emissions versus weight, and leads to a lot of local issues that have to be solved.
Thank you, and don't forget, Mayor Pro Tem Gaskell.
You know, I think Councilmember Mendoza and Councilmember Snow brought up the things that I was kind of bringing up. I really appreciate you speaking to those.
Thank you, and if you could just share a little bit, or give us a little bit more background about the offsetting revenue from the sale of recycled material due to the poor market.
So what we do is we calculate the value of the material that is collected, and we calculate the value of the material that's collected, and apply it against the rate. Recycling values worldwide have been dropping, particularly in fiber. Fiber is usually a precursor, is essentially used for packaging, particularly cardboard used for packaging. So the markets are projecting a slowdown in the economy, and hence they need less packaging. And as a result, prices have fallen. And so the objective to stay fairly low for the next couple of years
Okay, and so, but like, right now, you're experiencing a loss due to, what's going on with the market.
That's correct.
Thank you.
But I think that when you look at the context of the rate adjustment, the CPI for the last 2-year period was approximately 12%. And so we're still actually, this increase is actually less than CPI. Still significant, still, a real increase, which is never pleasant, but it's actually less than CPI.
Thank you. I will do one more round of questions and, comments with the city council members. I'll start with Councilmember Mendoza, followed by Councilmember Snow.
I have nothing further.
Councilmember Snow?
Can you let the community know where they can find more information about the different programs that your company offers to our community?
That's a great comment and question, Councilmember. The best way to access information, whether it's the cleanups, there's household hazardous waste, additional recycling cards, additional green containers, residential charge, it's through our website. And there's a bundle of information, a dedicated City of Lemon Grove page with all the information. And we actually have our customer service that's obviously available by phone, by email, or by text. And then in July, we're going to be rolling out live chat through our website so that Lemon Grove customers will be able to find out information that they can't find directly with the live chat feature to our customer service department as well. So our website is edcodisposal.com.
Thank you so much.
And, Mayor Pro Tem Gaston?
Nothing further.
And I want to take this opportunity to thank you for bringing this item forward. While I know this is about the increase, what I would like to receive, and perhaps this could go through our city manager, is an update regarding the organic recycling initiative. I believe it's required by the state. That's outside of this. But thank you for being part of our business community and for investing in our community, whether it is providing bins for folks to dump their trash or other items, and to be part of community cleanups, and to be part of our community, I'll call them like community activation activities, whether it is a concert in the park or simply a recycling event that's held right outside of our city hall. We appreciate you and the staff and all that they do to try and make sure that waste is put in its proper place. And so, I just wanted to share those comments with you. Please echo my sentiment to those who work for EDCO. And with that said, I will look to my council members to see if we have a motion.
I move approval.
Second that.
We have a motion and a second. City Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Mendoza,
Aye.
Councilmember Snow,
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Castillo,
Aye.
Mayor Vasquez,
Aye.
it carries 4-0. Thank you.
Thank you so very much.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We'd be happy to be part of the solution for this microphone too.
Please.
Ron might be able to figure it out, but I might not.
We're desperate.
And with that said, I recommend that you reach out and follow up with our city manager. Thank you.
Thank you,
Next, we have the council member meeting reports. This section of the meeting is dedicated to the oral reports from city council about meetings attended at the expense of the city for appointed boards, commissions, and city events. A report should be a brief summary of meetings attended in your capacity as a city official. As a reminder, we want to be careful to keep these comments brief and to stay within the boundaries of the Brown Act. This includes matters that are not on the agenda tonight. And I will start with Councilmember Mendoza.
Well, on May 11, we had a special council meeting, where we talked about our goals for the next year. And, we had some community members who also participated and added their goals for the city, which I appreciated. May 13, we had, the city, along with our animal control provider, Chula Vista, held a free vaccination clinic at Promenade Park. And I just wanted to, I took my dogs, and I just wanted to give a big shout out to the city staff who worked on this. It was well attended, and I hope that we can do this more often. This helps people get their dogs, get their shots, dogs and cats, but also with licensing of animals in the city, something that I think is very important. And then last night, I did attend a meeting a community meeting at El Pollo Grill. And I just want to say, the homeless issue is a true crisis in our city right now. And as we move forward with our budget planning for next year, this is a priority that we discussed last week in our meeting, and it's something that I personally feel we need to put a lot of attention to in the city immediately. And that's all. Thank you.
Councilmember Snell?
So on April 26th, I was able to go to Sacramento and participate in comment on before the Housing and Community Development Committee. There were several bills that are being contemplated at the state level, and so I wanted to be there to make sure our voice was heard in Lemon Grove, that we need money back here in our community to help with housing and homelessness issues. On April 24th, I met with Representative Brownlee and also California State Senator, or U.S. Senator Alex Padilla regarding the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau and making sure that that stays in force and fully funded, so that they're able to protect citizens. All of us are consumers, and be able to make sure that consumer protections stay in place and that that entity has the teeth it needs to do the good work it does to make sure that our rights are protected, that fees aren't crazy. And we also lobby for legislation to make sure that late fees that these banks are charging stay low. And so we're working hard on those issues. On April 22nd, I participated in the food distribution and also in the Arbor Day Festival, which was a hoot, and there were even free trees available. On April 21st, I also had meetings with Representative Garcia, met with EDCO, learned more about their program, and participated in the preparation for the food distribution. On April 20th, I met with Representative Jacob's staff and also Representative Chu's staff regarding the same issues at the state level or at the federal level, and also participated in the Care Corp meeting. That's the program that's designed to help the severely mentally ill portion of the homeless population, and trying to figure out how to best create the new homeless court that's coming about. And those will be wraparound services, not just housing, but all the services that someone needs to succeed in life. And then on April 19th, I attended the East County Economic Development Council meeting.
Thank you so very much. Next we have Mayor Pro Tem Gaston.
Okay, I was also at the April 19th East County Economic Development Council meeting. I would have attended the Sandag Regional Planning Committee meeting, but they failed to get a quorum. And I want to make sure the mayor and other key people know that the East County representative did not show. They were not able to meet a quorum. I represent MTS on the Regional Planning Committee. I don't represent Lemon Grove, but I'm happy to be there. And I attended 2 MTS meetings. One was a special meeting, the other was a regular meeting. and quite a bit going on with MTS, as you know. And I also, last week, had the pleasure to be the guest of La Mesa Rotary. My mother is a former member of La Mesa Rotary, and we have a few Lemon Grove people that participate in La Mesa Rotary, and I was particularly honored to be introduced by Kathy Olson of RCP Block and Brick. And the Rotarians were wonderful. They had questions about Lemon Grove. They had a lot of questions about Lemon Grove. That was a good experience, good place to be.
Thank you so very much. And for me, I attended the Arab and Muslim Community Outreach Forum, which was an opportunity for elected officials and business community members to learn more about the community and the added value that they bring in all industries. I also attended the City Council Strategic Goal Setting and Team Building Workshop. Of course, all of us were there, and it was an opportunity to not only express what we thought were the priorities for the city, and what could move forward into 2024, but also the community to be part of the process and express what they felt the priorities should be as we move forward into our next fiscal year, which starts July 1. And it was an interactive process. We heard about the priorities, what we have achieved during this fiscal year. And we had a hands-on activity where we all had the opportunity to take 6 dots, each and every person, and put next to 11 items where we should prioritize our focus for 2024. There will be more information shared about the next steps as we're not done. This really coincides with our budget setting process. Our budget will, and hopefully it will be approved by the end of June. I also attended the SANDAG Executive Committee meeting, and I attended the SANDAG Board of Directors meeting, and that completes my report. I will now turn this over to our city manager to give a report.
Thank you, Madam Mayor and City Council members. I want to bring to the attention to the City Council, each year we have, for the last 5 years, we have done a bike pit stop for Bike to Work Day. Well, this year it's going to be a little bit different because people are working at home, so it's Bike to Anywhere Day. We will have a pit stop over at Promenade Park, right there by the Big Lemon on May 18th. In the morning, there are flyers out if you would like to go. There's free sweat-free t-shirts, free food, well, snacks, and free water for those that ride their bike to the promenade on Bike Anywhere Day. And then I wanted to report out to the council that I did attend the League of California Cities San Diego Division meeting as the Lemon Grove representative, and one of the presentations that we had was done by the Institute of Local Government, and Melissa Keene actually delved into how to be a high-functioning, proper city council. And so we were able to get the slides from them, and I will share that with the entire city council. It was a really good presentation, really good questions from other San Diego cities that were there, and there's probably 100 or so city council members and city managers in attendance at that meeting. And then the last on May 3rd and 4th, actually May 4th and 5th, I attended the city managers retreat. So each year, the county city managers and the county manager gets together, and we talk amongst ourselves on regional issues, on issues of significance, and we also have presentations, and one of the presentations actually fits well into the discussion that we had. It was from District Attorney Summer Stephens, and she talked about a new program that her office will be unveiling, hopefully by summer, midsummer, it will be an app. And that app will show available shelter space anywhere in the county for anybody that wants to go to the shelter immediately. It'll be in real time. It's not gonna be dependent on whether you're a service provider, whether you're part of the continuum of care. It will be an app that you download and then an app that you can get folks if they want to go into this particular shelter. It is gonna be low barrier, so it will talk about, are they only seniors, are they only, if they have couple space, if they take animals, if they don't take animals. So the district attorney's office is working on that app for everybody countywide that will be available to all of us. So we're really excited that her office is taking the lead and that her office will be working on that issue to help us place the unhoused in some shelter space for wraparound services. And that concludes my report.
Well, that is great news to hear. I cannot wait to see the app roll out. We did have closed session tonight, and so I will turn this over to our city attorney to adjourn the meeting into closed session.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Mayor. We are adjourned to closed session for a conference with legal counsel regarding existing litigation under Government Code 54596.9D1. That's Owens versus the City of Lemon Grove. And 2 additional items for anticipated litigation under 54956.9D2. Thank you.
And before we go, I do want to mention here that we will be holding our CIP, which is the Capital Improvement Program Budget Workshop, on May 23rd at 6 p.m. in this very room. So I'm encouraging everyone to attend and to be part of the discussion. We're now adjourned into closed session.